Alright, well, I know it's been quite a little long time since I've put together a little bit more of a pre-recorded video after kind of going through the phase of trying to live stream the cruise ship every other day to kind of keep the void filled, but it kind of seems like in good typical jet cruise fashion, at least as some of my closer friends would always say, it seems like I just keep on bouncing from one project to another. Because, as of like the little recent teaser video that I showed you, titled The Endurance, this video is to kind of give you a little bit of like a roadmap as to what I have in store for this endurance project that I got going on. And for anybody else who might be kind of wondering, it's like, okay, what's the deal with going from the cruise ship back to the Snowpiercer? It's like, with me becoming older and wiser, I finally have kind of came across the dilemma of like, well, the cruise ship, while it is a very cool and very ambitious project, it's going to be a hell of a lot longer before that ever gets done, whereas this Snowpiercer project that I've kind of been picking at over the past couple of years, it's already more along the lines of being closer to being done than the cruise ship has ever been. So I kind of figured I would just kind of take a bullet and just kind of weigh out my options and figured, you know what, the Snowpiercer is the bigger project that I have that's actually more closer to being done. And as it stands right now, currently the actual layout of my train is complete, but that's a little detail to talk about later on, talking about this whole endurance project. So yeah, the Endurance. The reason why this whole project is now called the Endurance is because initially this train of mine has always been kind of known as the Icebreaker. But in the Snowpiercer Discord that I've had for a while, I decided to kind of go along the lines of making it something a little bit more original and kind of making it something completely different compared to the actual Snowpiercer, Big Alice, and what would actually be the Icebreaker, in and of itself. So I went ahead and kind of renamed my train the Endurance. I mean, because it doesn't really look like any of the other trains, nor does it actually kind of really look like the Icebreaker, at least in comparison to the comics. And, making it something completely different allows me to also label it as being a different class of train. Because as it would go, the Endurance, as I'm going to have it, is going to be a mobile expedition and research platform, which is why it has the garage bays, or the vehicle bays, 2 engines up front, an onboard laboratory, a hospital, and everything else, and then you have all the cruise quarters and lounging areas further down train, with the agriculture district of this train making up the tail section. So, compared to what you would usually see on the Realm, this is actually not on the Realm. This is, I'm doing all of this on its own separate map, because I'm kind of building it up to be kind of a story map. Because considering the fact that in the little teaser trailer, I kind of made the reveal of the Endurance kind of look like it was like the main menu of a game, or like a virtual novel, as depending on who you ask. I do actually kind of have plans in motion to potentially make this into a bit of a mini skit series. I'm kind of making like my own little virtual cinematic novel, at least as far as this train goes. And kind of going with that whole mindset, moving forward, I've been trying to go through the efforts of, giving it some landscaping, trying to do some work outside the train, because, my train, the Endurance as it is, one thing I will say about it's like mostly throughout its story, it's not really in motion all that much. I mean, it's kind of one of the special abilities that this train possesses, but, I'm kind of making this video in a bit of a time crunch, because it is going like 8 o'clock on a Monday night for me putting this together. But, okay, so, moving over this way, it's like, there's this big old ditch here in the middle of the train, or under the train, because I was gonna, like, put together, like, a snow-covered underpass, like a highway that goes under here, and build a bridge and all that. I mean, of course, I still need to make the edges and stuff look all organic. There's some leftover trains that I haven't moved to, clear space, because I do plan on having, like, a bit of a small, medium-sized townscape on this side, and the overall boarding terminal and everything else being over on this side. And I guess it's like going like the whole movie stage setup. It's like there are going to be certain gimmicks where the train itself is actually going to have to be moved to another location to kind of give it a change of scenery for here and there. But ultimately it's like, there's going to be a big town on this side and the terminal on this side. And currently I do have a potential plan of maybe opening this up to be a bit of a community collaboration, I guess you could say. Because I do have the ability to make this into a temporary realm world. Because if I were to go to the original realm, given the subscription and the benefits and the perks that I have at my disposal, I can actually have 2 maps selected to be available in a single realm. I just have to kind of rotate them, so I can have it be where one map's available at one point, and then I change it, and then the other map becomes available for a different point. So depending on, how much attention this gets, or who all comes across this, or if you're a member in the Discord yourself and just kind of curious as to what this whole endurance project is, I do plan on, I have ideas to open this up and kind of allow other members to potentially build something once I get a bit of a general layout, because I do plan on putting like a bit of a whole grid and diagram as to what I think is probably going to go where, until I kind of can come up with the final rendition of what the overall surrounding environment of the train's going to be. And I guess kind of moving this way, thinking of Discord members, it's like there have been a good number of cars that have been replaced, moved, or may not even straight up be included in the rolling consist of my train, because I actually have it all put together from engine to tail. So there are a good number of cars that didn't get included with the overall train, considering the general layout or perspective, or I don't know, environmental setup, I guess, for the train is concerned. But as far, I do know that as far as keeping, at least preventing from eliminating everybody's work entirely, for any cars that didn't make it into the original consist of the Endurance, as you can see here, there are some missing, because any of the ones that I've decided to incorporate into the overall layout, I just went ahead and removed from this whole extra space here, just to kind of clear up some space. So I do plan on having there being like a rail yard somewhere out in this general vicinity. We got somebody's Big Alice there that I'm gonna need to move at some point. But so yeah, as a part of the gimmick to keep other people's works from just not being included and still have a potential to be seen or featured, at least if I ever get around to getting the whole cinematic novel going up and getting up and going. My mind is all over the place. In the rail yard, all these existing, or all the leftover cars are going to be placed in said rail yard and kind of not like retextured. I'm not going to like completely gut them or destroy them or anything, but I'm going to have to like make them look like that they've been abandoned and weathered because they were left in the rail yard because I didn't make it into the total assembly of the train. Because there actually is going to be a little bit of a reason as to why the overall layout of my train is a bit scattered and a bit inconsistent, because it does kind of seem like it's misplaced here and there. So it's not like a perfect train. It's meant to kind of look like it was rushed or something. I mean, at least the general connecting of all the cars, but the construction of it was safe and sound anyways. So yeah, that's kind of the overall plan, or the whole anatomy of this project of the Endurance is, building the train, making it something more original rather than trying to say it's a different rendition of a replica of the Snowpiercer. Actually try to put the outside environment around the train to good use, and try to do some actual landscaping, making it look like a story map, and perhaps maybe with it being like an actual thoroughly put together, story-based adventure map, I guess, as far as Minecraft is concerned, it would stand a better chance of being able to be uploaded. I mean, of course, I know there's been some people asking me if I would like upload the cruise ship or upload the original realm, but it seems like in the grand scheme of trying to become a content creator for the marketplace, at least on Minecraft Bedrock, you do have to kind of create your own little studio, have like a bit of a bio and a handful of different maps that are actually, properly put together or seem authentic or professional. So this map, I mean, in comparison to everything else that I built, would be the only thing that would be capable or could be a potential candidate to be something that I could upload later on. So turning it into a story map and everything else just kind of seemed like a good idea. So I guess I know some people are probably wanting me to take a look inside the train, but that's going to be for something for later. I think I'll probably do a tour of like the overall layout of the train whenever I get it thoroughly complete, because right now it's really only about 97% done as far as the interior is concerned. Because with the inclusion of a couple of additional new cars in the total consist, there are some interior spaces that actually need to be completed, and I need to do a bit of a fine detail sweep of the whole train anyway. So there's still some things that still look the same. There's still some areas that might be just dead open space and hidden away in some smaller compartments. But anyways, so yeah, that's the overall idea, the anatomy of the project, and I guess the kind of like just the rough draft roadmap as to what this project is supposed to be. So, let me know if you have any ideas down in the comments, if you'd like to maybe contribute to this, or if there's something you might want to add, because aside from the rail yard and all the extra cars being moved over there, I think I might have like a, I wouldn't say contract, but a potential position to be made, at least in this whole story idea, where perhaps maybe somebody or maybe a group of individuals can come together and put together another train, because I do have something in the script for another train to make an appearance here. Now, I mean, we're gonna have to kind of work it to be the same scale as the Endurance, or at least the same track layout. If I, if I open that up, I guess, God. I'm doing this too late at night, as you can probably clearly tell from my lack of just ability to speak or make professional sentences, not even professional, but complete sentences. But anyway, so I guess rather than trying to ramble this on for too much longer, you kind of get the idea. You kind of now have a better understanding as to where this is all going and what the overall intention to all this is. So I guess rather than rambling on any further, I'm just gonna drop it like it's hot, cut it off right here and there, and just as the typical outro would have it. As I typically usually always say, you all take care of yourselves out there, don't do anything stupid, don't get yourself killed, and I will potentially see you sometime later. I can't ever seem to actually make it exactly the same every time.